Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we get right into the essence of what you need to know from the sources you share with us. Today, we are looking at something pretty incredible. It's one of the most unexpected, but also one of the most successful cultural pivots in recent memory.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking about the journey of Snoop Dogg from, legendary gangster rapper to an Emmy-nominated culinary star.
An amazing story.
So the sources we're digging into, mostly from around The Guardian's 2018 reporting when his first cookbook was announced, they give us this fantastic roadmap.
They really do.
Our mission here is to unpack that. Not just, that he wrote a book, but why it was such a masterstroke for his brand and how he fits into this bigger trend of hip-hop stars in the food world.
And what's so great about this reporting is that it's not just an announcement. It really captures the cultural moment. You get the history, the media landscape, and all these tangible, sometimes contradictory details about the book itself.
You really get to see a brand just completely transcend its original genre. Okay, so let's start at the beginning of this whole culinary story. The foundation for all of it wasn't some viral video. It was a partnership with, the undisputed queen of domesticity.
You have to start there.
Let's talk about the cookery show with Martha Stewart.
Right. Before, from Crook to Cook, there was Martha and Snoop's potluck dinner party. And, for a lot of people, that pairing just seemed like a stunt.
Oh, a total novelty act. The ultimate high-low culture clash.
Totally. But what we find in the reporting is that the show, it very quickly proved it was much, much more than just a quirky idea for a quick laugh.
And there was one key detail that really shifted how people saw it, right? The sources point to the official recognition it got.
Exactly. The single most critical piece of validation was the Emmy nomination the show got in 2017.
An Emmy nod.
An Emmy nod. And that's not just a fun fact. That's the anchor for his entire culinary credibility. It's a signal from Hollywood, from the TV industry, that they are taking this project seriously.
It's not just a joke anymore.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It validated his status in that whole food and lifestyle space. It proved he wasn't just a musician dropping by a talk show. He was now a legitimate, critically recognized host.
That's the turning point. It moves him from celebrity participant to, a real player in food media. And it's so fascinating how this kind of pivot fits right into his already sprawling and often contradictory career.
Well, it just highlights his adaptability, right? I mean, the source material reminds you this is a guy whose career goes all the way back to the LA gangster rap scene of 1992.
Bologna.
A very long time. But then you look at his resume outside of music. The reporting lists his other jobs, and the range is genuinely wild.
Yeah, I saw that.
We're talking about coaching youth football while also directing pornographic movies.
It might be the single wildest career combination in modern celebrity history.
I think it is.
I mean, it's just a stunning example of brand elasticity. He can operate in these completely different worlds and somehow not lose his core identity.
And if you kind of zoom out and connect this to the bigger picture, his move into being a lifestyle guru, it just follows this decades-long history of him staying completely, utterly relevant.
Right.
The reporting reminds us he's constantly collaborated across genres, across eras. He's worked with the Neptunes, with Katy Perry, Jason Derulo. So the cookbook isn't some random outlier. It's like the ultimate expression of this adaptable, profitable brand evolution. It shows his influence works in any market.
Which brings us to the book itself. This is where that high-low genius really gets written down. The title, From Crook to Cook, Platinum Recipes from Thai Boss Dogg's Kitchen. I mean, it's a perfect nod to his past while pointing to his future. And the report from 2018 said it was coming out in October. Who is the publisher on this?
That was Chronicle Books. And they clearly understood the assignment here. The real genius of From Crook to Cook is in its mix of content.
Right.
It had to appeal to his core music fans, but also this new mainstream audience he just got from the Emmy-nominated show with Martha.
So how did the recipes do that? How do you balance those two worlds? Is it all updated soul food?
Not at all, and that's what's so smart about it. The source highlights this really compelling, almost shocking juxtaposition in the recipes.
Okay.
So on one hand, you have serious, high-end aspirational cooking. It lists fine dining choices such as lobster thermidor.
Lobster thermidor from Snoop Dogg. That is a statement. That's him saying, I belong in Martha Stewart's world too.
Exactly. It proves he can play in that fine dining space. But then it's perfectly balanced with earthier fare such as waffles, and this is crucial, the gin and juice recipe.
Of course.
That cocktail isn't just a drink. It's a direct callback to his 1994 hit single. So that immediately ties him back to his original fans, his musical legacy. The book is giving you authenticity and aspiration at the same time.
That duality is his whole brand, right?
Yeah.
Accessible, smooth, but with a little bit of luxury. And Snoop himself, I mean, he set the tone perfectly in his own statement about the book.
Oh, the quote is essential. You have to hear it.
He said, "You know it's blazing up in my kitchen? I'm taking the cookbook game higher with a dipped-in whipped collection of my favorite recipes, ya dig."
It's perfect.
And that blazing tone leads right into the most sophisticated marketing part of this whole thing.
This is where the business strategy gets incredibly sharp. The source material breaks down the publisher's very careful balancing act.
Right.
Chronicle Books explicitly promises the book has snacks to satisfy those munchies. Now, everyone knows what that means. It's a direct, knowing nod to the rapper's very public persona and his, fabled marijuana habit.
So they're cashing in on that cultural connection, that link to generate buzz and sales. They're playing right into his established image.
Precisely. They are leveraging that association,
Right.
but without actually crossing any legal or, commercial lines. It's the ultimate business move.
How so?
Well, the publisher knows that phrase gives the book an edge, makes it relevant. But the reporting is crystal clear on this point. They assure readers that all the recipes in the book are explicitly cannabis-free.
But wait, hang on. Doesn't leaning so hard on the munchies thing risk cheapening the brand a bit? I mean, if you're aiming for Emmys and serious standing, isn't that a step back towards being a novelty?
That's a great question, and it really gets to the genius of the wording. See, if the book actually had cannabis-infused recipes, it would immediately kill its distribution.
Okay.
It couldn't be sold easily across state lines. Major retailers like Walmart or big grocery chains wouldn't touch it. The audience would shrink instantly.
Got it.
So by using the implication, the munchies illusion, while keeping the content cannabis-free, they get the edge, the cultural cool factor, and the massive nationwide mainstream distribution.
So they get the thrill of the connection without risking any shelf space in Target. It's a masterclass in brand management, using suggestion instead of substance.
Absolutely. It ensures maximum profit, maximum mainstream acceptance, while still keeping the authentic flavor of the Snoop Dogg persona.
That is fantastic. So, okay, Snoop is obviously this huge figure, but he didn't invent the rapper cookbook idea. Let's zoom out a bit and look at the broader pattern the sources talk about. His book is part of a real cultural trend.
It definitely is. And he's joining, a pretty well-established line of peers here. What's fascinating is why this crossover works so well with hip-hop stars.
Right.
Hip-hop culture is so often centered on themes of luxury, aspiration, hospitality, community, all these things that translate perfectly into lifestyle and food media.
That makes a lot of sense. The storytelling is often about showing success, and what's more tangible than sharing great food?
Exactly. And the source lists specific examples that show this has been happening for years, way before. From Crook to Cook.
So who are the key names here? Who else is in this space?
Well, you can trace it back through a few key people. 2 Chainz, for example, put out a 28-page cookbook called #Mealtime with his album. Killis, who is actually a cordon bleu trained chef, published My Life on a Plate.
Right, I remember that one. And maybe the earliest big example, the one who kind of set the template, was Coolio.
Yes, Cooking with Coolio. These examples show that the interest in what's happening in the kitchens of hip-hop stars was there long before Snoop. But there is a big difference.
Okay.
While Coolio and 2 Chainz, they laid the groundwork, Snoop took the trend fully mainstream. The difference is that institutional buy-in, the major publisher, the cross-branding, and, critically, the Emmy Award.
Things Coolio just didn't have with his more, grassroots effort.
Exactly. Snoop elevated the entire subgenre.
And it's not just physical books anymore. The whole thing has evolved with the media landscape. We have to mention someone like Action Bronson with his web series, Fuck, That's Delicious. That shows how this intersection of hip-hop and food is constantly moving, expanding into new digital spaces, blending travel, music, food, all of it.
And if you synthesize all that, what the sources are really showing us is this undeniable evidence of the cultural power of hip-hop personalities. Their influence now goes so deep into lifestyle, fashion, food. It's far beyond just the music charts.
Yeah.
Snoop's own journey, from the LA gangsta rap scene to a mainstream lifestyle guru giving lobster recipes, it just mirrors that whole shift. Today's hip-hop icons are truly seen as cultural tastemakers in every single sense of the word.
So let's bring this all back to you, the listener. What does this deep dive really tell us about modern brand strategy? Let's do a quick recap. We started with Snoop's Foundation.
Which was that critically successful Emmy-nominated show with Martha Stewart.
Right.
That gave him the credibility.
Then we covered the content of From Crook to Cook, that brilliant mix of high-end lobster thermidor and classic gin and juice.
And we broke down that marketing strategy, promising munchies while keeping the recipes cannabis-free to get maximum distribution and brand edge at the same time.
And finally, we placed him in that larger trend of rappers with cookbooks, showing how his huge success really built on the earlier work of people like Coolio and Keyless.
Right.
This whole deep dive just shows that even the most established, clearly defined careers can pivot into these completely unexpected but successful fields like food media. The path from a gangster rap album in 1992 to writing recipes for lobster thermidor is it's a textbook masterclass in brand evolution.
It really is. It shows that fame, if you use it the right way, is entirely transferable into other businesses as long as you keep that core authenticity.
So true.
And that leads to a final thought for you to mull over. The sources call Snoop Dogg the daddy of all lifestyle gurus. So think about how he manages to seamlessly blend these things that seem so contradictory: high-end dining, laid-back munchies culture, and mainstream celebrity into one single cohesive and wildly successful brand. How does he maintain credibility across that entire spectrum, and what does that tell us about what it takes for a celebrity brand to last today?